Today's episode is gonna be beautiful.
Alright, let's rock.
Oh, we rocking? We rocking. Alright. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, start it off, man. Go ahead and do the introduction for us.
Alright, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another broadcast of Talking That Talk official podcast. I like to say we the best at what we do.
We the best! DJ Cali!
I go by the name of King Exodus, aka X.
What's going on, Ward? It's your boy Juice, aka No Ordinary Brother, aka A Rising Pharaoh, aka Mr. Books. So, tonight's episode, I figure like, man, we just gotta talk about this subject, man. We gotta talk about this simp. You simps out here, right? Simps, or however you want to describe it. So before I decided to do the episode, I was like, let me go ahead and go to the definition.
Webster says.
No, this is Urban Dictionary. We're gonna go to Webster. This is Urban Dictionary.
Okay.
Urban Dictionary says simps is someone who does way too much for a person they like, right? Now, we're gonna go back to Webster. Webster has it simple. A silly or foolish person. So, I was telling X, let's have a conversation with a guy, right? And I said, once I like a woman, she spends money on me, I spend money on her. I don't mind doing the most simple things, right? So I said, if I like somebody and money has been spent on me as well, I like every once in a while, maybe once a week, I might just send them about $20 to $30 for lunch. And the guy looked at me, he's older too. And he like, damn, that's a simp move. I said, oh, excuse me? I said, I already made the establishment that we spend money on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we spend money on each other. It's not me just spending money on her.
Mm-hmm.
But I get called a simp for it. I said, okay, cool. I said, why do you say that? He like, man, because you're not really supposed to be spending money on these females like that. You supposed to, like, remember, this is an older person, by the way. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be spending money like that, man. These women got to earn everything from you, bruh. Young blood, you got to do this and that. And I was like, yo, okay, cool. So
yeah,
let me go ahead and lace you up.
Let us build.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and lace you up real quick. School. I said, right now, when it comes between me and you still have to budget your gas for the week. Working back, working home, working the gym. I go to the gas station and fill my shit up, right? You still got a $10 here, $15 there. I got to make sure I get it back. Now I can't go there. You know what I'm saying? It's a different mentality when you have put yourself on a budget level and you spend money versus going to your savings and spending money, right? I feel like you're more on a simp level if a woman is cashing you out and making you depleting funds on a rapid level, right? So $20 to $30, and my budget for the week might be anywhere from $300 to $500 for the week. That's just less money to spend on me. Not necessarily I'm simping, right? It's just $30. Like, if you still complain about $30, goddamn, no wonder why you bitch about your gas tank. So that was just something that came across my mind. I was like, we gotta talk about this now. X, what you got on the subject? Like I said, the Urban Dictionary is a simp is a person who does way too much for someone they like, and Webster is just a simple or a foolish person.
All right, so the whole everybody simp concept is primarily based on the fact that in a real structured relationship, no matter if it's seriously intense or not, the man, at least on a level of money being spent, 9 times out of 10 is going to spend more.
Okay.
At the same time, we know the pursuit mostly is also, in most cases, done by the man. More of the attention comes from the man. So it's structured to where men are going to do more on certain levels. So the connotation behind simping is like a lot of men act like no matter what, they don't have no simp in their blood.
No simp in their blood, man.
To be like you don't have no simp in your blood is to say you have no responsibility in your blood.
Mm-hmm.
Because responsibility and obligations is going to bring out a higher level of engagement.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So going back to like the scenario, Juice say he gave a chick, money for lunch. Then you got a guy saying, and I'm gonna just keep it 100 so you can feel the energy. They'll be like, don't give a bitch nothing. So we being nice by saying woman and relationships, but it's men out there that think, oh, just don't give a bitch nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even in a situation, man, where a guy can have a side woman,
Right.
we know in a structural sense, if a man's married, he got a mistress, not a bitch. It's a difference.
Uh-huh.
He got a mistress. Well, guess what? The mistress costs.
Yeah.
She probably don't cost as much as the wife, but she still has a price value.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not pretend like it's not a price value on poom poom.
Mm-hmm.
Every man pays something. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're dealing with chicks that have no value of themselves or strictly low self-esteem, maybe you can, you know what I'm saying, pull some shit out the hat. But I tell you what, a lot of those dudes that find women like that will accept pretty much anything, they're possibly young and they haven't grown into their womanhood and their potential yet. But I guarantee you, what they accept now, they won't accept later because they're going to increase their value.
Right.
I'm done, man. Hopefully that answers the question.
I mean, look. Like I said, this is gonna be interesting because, right? So with that example, right? This is the thing that people don't understand, right? Let's say we at the club, right? We see some ladies or whatever. When the girls come up to us or we go up to them, right? It's always that one person, right? Like me, if I approach some women and they're in a group, whatever woman I'm talking to in that group, that's the only person I'm gonna spend money on, right? Like, hey, want a drink or something, right? Cool. Now you have it in some men's mind, like, yeah, I'm going for this one, but I'm gonna buy everybody in that group a drink. But nobody's like, oh, he's a simp, right? To him, he's trying to earn some brownie points by proving he's fly, right? He got the money. He ain't simping because he buying everybody a drink though, right? He's that dude. Oh, he's such a gentleman, this and that. And I be laughing at those type of times where people be like, they don't simp, but they'll do something of that nature, and then but pull it out and say, "Nah, I got money. This not simping."
Correct.
So, but at the same time, I know women who go out in groups who actually have contests on, let's see who can get guys that buy us the most drinks. But see on the flip end, he feeling like the man. He bought everybody a drink and he feeling good. Mm-hmm. But to them, they're like, damn, this nigga might be doing too much. But shit, it don't matter. Like he bought everybody this, right? And women use the word simp to their advantage at the same time, right? I don't know if y'all see it these days, but women be like, yeah, man, I definitely prefer a simp over all of these other niggas, because what we're getting to a point is, like, as X said, is men are starting to get to a point where money shouldn't be spent on women at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
It can be the smallest things, and I'd be like, y'all, man, some of y'all is just like, to me, what do you want to do, the red pill, blue pill thing? I honestly just think some of y'all niggas just broke, bro. I'm gonna put it out there. I just think some of y'all just really broke. Now, as me, as a man, when it comes to relationships, I always say I move off the deserve it factor. Does she deserve me doing this and that for her? Bro, cool. But like small shit, like y'all, like I said, for like paying for lunch, like come on, man. Yeah. Y'all doing too much. It's like damn near like, hey, look, even if she about to die, she about to pay for this oxygen. It's crazy, bro. Like that's why I be like, yo, everybody has some type of simp in them, whether they want to believe it or not. But to where y'all get to a point, y'all feel like, you know what I'm saying, you don't spend money on this woman. Look, I'm telling you right now, men who are spending money on women are getting the women. And I'm gonna be even brutally honest. Simps will take your woman. Simps will definitely take your woman if you ain't spending money on her.
Hey. Simps gonna be pimping, you know what I'm saying? Simps gonna be pimping. But yeah, I just hate the fact that, man, we get into a terrible point within our generations to where real manhood is just considered a weakness. And people want to say it's masculinity under attack. Uh-huh. But you gotta keep it 100. How do men even attack masculinity? Right? Because if you call a man a bitch because he's responsible, then what does a real man do? Right. You feel me? So it's like people want to complain and be like, oh, women never happy, they never satisfied. Mm-hmm. But then you have other men that are down that same guy. You got groups of men that be like, when one dude step out the group and say, look, I'm gonna settle down. You got some men that'll be like, bro, I'm happy for you, do your thing. You got some man like, you stupid. You stupid. You know what I'm saying?
That bitch got a kid. What you doing, man?
Yeah.
She tying you down to make it an extra
another-
million.
and that's
Hey,
another-
look, you know I had to do it, man. You know I had to do it, man. You know I had to do it,
You
man.
step up, you take care of somebody else's kid. You got somebody that's gonna be like, man, that's a great guy. I wish somebody would have did that with me. And you got that one homie that's gonna be like, you a dumbass. You know what I'm saying? You pay
Yeah.
that money for somebody else's kid and they ain't doing that. You know, you always have the positive and negative connotations that even men have towards it.
Right.
Like we was talking about Annie and up. You know what I'm saying? Some men even apply this to Annie and up to where they feel like if a female just never had good, she just never deserves it because she never had it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, how is that realistically logical? Because someone has bad. See, sometimes people say shit like, you never know what good is until you had bad.
Mm-hmm.
And having bad will make you appreciate the good better.
Right.
So it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? When does a person put themselves at a higher value to where they can attract more and demand more?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't say, some people say once a hoe, always a hoe. Then
Uh-huh.
you always got somebody that's gonna turn a hoe into a housewife.
That's right. That's the two words in home. Ho.
Hoe and me.
Ho and me. Yo, son. Oh man, we already doing it, man. We already doing it.
I guess,
We already doing
man. So look, we're not even gonna really do too many questions. We're just gonna flow. Another thing that I noticed,
it.
man.
Oh, man, I was about to jump on something, man. Go ahead.
But on that, another thing that I noticed, if you a man and
Uh-huh.
you know you being a man, don't allow other men to steer you wrong
Exactly.
because you feel embarrassed or whatever the case
Hey,
is.
fuck them.
A lot of
Hey,
those
fuck
dudes.
them. Look at Juice. Look at Juice while he talking. Fuck them.
Right. A lot of dudes clap back and be like, okay, well, while you got everything figured out and you so alpha, guess what? I'm going home to a woman. You know what I'm saying? People want to shit on the person that's going home to a woman and take care of their business. But they get more out the deal. You still gonna have your lonely nights, your lotion nights.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You ain't
Nights
smacking back every day, baby.
No, you're not.
You ain't smacking back every day.
you chasing, 10 new chicks just to probably hit 3 of them. This dude going home to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to put everything on the scale.
Guaranteed booty. If he does right. Look at that.
Jamie Foxx, Bill Bellamy, where's the booty?
Where's the booty? Oh man, so look, let me go ahead. Like I said, this is gonna be fun, simple, sweet to the point. We also have some of us that came from single parent households and feel like it's not cool to date women who have kids, right? It's interesting, right? Even some of us that actually have kids that don't stay, that are not with the mother of their child, will still be like, well, I ain't get with a woman who has a child. Like, okay, cool, man. What the fuck ever.
Yeah.
It's interesting when all those things get tied down when it comes to relationships, right? And that's why when X brings up some good points, like you said, y'all look, when we actually go on camera, like we're actually arguing sometimes. That's what people don't understand. Like we put on the camera and let everything go. When y'all be dating some of these single parent moms, you know what I'm saying? And y'all come from single parent households. I don't know why y'all feel like y'all don't need to contribute, bro. Like I always ask myself sometimes when I look at my the relationship status my mom was in, I was like, would she be a little bit more feminine and less masculine if somebody actually stepped into the role? Would she be less stressful or more stressful if somebody stepped into the role? Like, it's the smallest things you can contribute if you're gonna deal with a woman that has a child. But we don't look at it like that, right? We cast it to the side. Hey, don't date no woman with a child, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, me personally, I'm gonna always say, look, do what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? Because a woman can have a child and still have an asset mentality and build you up. It's like, we don't talk about some of the women who have outside children and help manifest some of these dudes who came up and worked in the world. We don't do that. We just don't. But it's a lot of things that's tied into it, right? They say always taking care of another man's child is a beta move or a beta. But then I'd be like, some of y'all niggas that say that came from single parent households at the same time. So it's trash to have that type of mentality, But at the same time, I do understand if a man's on his purpose and he's pursuing somewhere, it can be a little bit more added debt to him because he's responsible for a woman and a child. So I can understand at the same time, but let's not just shit on the whole situation and call that man a simp or a beta because he's choosing to raise another man's child and build a foundation and structure to that household and build it up. It's some of the, I just seen some of the stepdads got the meanest respects coming to the schoolyard like, hey man, don't ever talk about my dad like that again. He said, that's not even your real dad. Man, I just see people get smashed. Like they will not let you disrespect the man who has stepped into their household, who have raised their brother, their sister, and helped their mom in any situation. So that's the thing that doesn't get talked about.
I mean, I totally agree. I don't think it's celebrated enough because, you know, like I knew a guy who took care of his ex's kids, and even though the relationship didn't work, he never broke that bond between those kids. Mm-hmm. And those kids, even though they still have a father, they still refer to him as a father as well. Mm-hmm. Even in his demise, they still consider themselves his family. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So it's like, and yeah, of course, a lot of people couldn't really relate to that. And like I say, it's weird because it's coming from men who probably came from a single household as well. So I think it's that simultaneously you're saying other people deserve or can go through the same struggles you went through. Mm-hmm. Because it's not one boy alive that can say, I grew up without my father and I never wanted a male present in the household, or at least present within your life to teach you things. So I'm just keeping it realistic. Like, you have to celebrate men who step up and do the right thing. Mm-hmm. Now, automatically, I don't feel that just because you with a woman that has kids, automatically you do anything.
Right.
You're not obligated to do anything, but simply have respect and set forth a good example. Mm-hmm. If you choose to engage more, then that's on you, and it definitely should be appreciated. It maybe not by the kid all the time because they kids, but that woman should definitely appreciate the actions. So you have some women that have men that step up, take care of somebody else's kids, and then she go and get mad because he didn't take her to the movies one weekend. You know what I'm saying? So you do have to have the appreciation factor, and even sometimes in doing good, you still could be read as a simp because people still have to show appreciation for everything you do, just like you show appreciation for everything that people do for you as well. So I think the appreciation factor is what don't make that person weak or simple, whatever the case. But you got some dudes that take care of women kids and get no respect from them.
No respect at all. And that's why I said, like, that's why they say you have to also be cautious when pursuing on in some of these relationships when women do have kids, because you can step into the picture and feel like you're doing the right thing and still be treated like ain't shit, like you just basically there. And so I would say this: do you feel it's possible to step into relationships where a woman has a child and you not be obligated to help out with those kids? Because this is the thing. Now let me go ahead and do my let me work real quick. Right? So you have women who will pitch out like, hey, I would like you to be here and be involved with us and this and that, and don't worry about the kids. Cool, he does that. But down the line, she will bring it up like, you don't do nothing for my kids. Well, pitch off at first. Don't worry about them. I take care of them. They got their own father.
I go back to what I said prior.
Go ahead.
It's no obligations in that sense. A lot of people are like, well, what if they get married? You still gotta realize, you know what I'm saying? The obligations can't. I ain't gonna say the obligations.
I was about to say, hold on, you can't say. I was about to say, I know you can say that.
You can have certain expectations without putting obligations on people. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody switches their story later, maybe it's because of the time invested. They probably, you know what I'm saying, want a little bit more, but that person still is not obligated, no matter what. And I think once you remove the obligation, you can add more appreciation. I know guys that, you know, go to, you know, stepkids, games, sports games and shit like that. Practice. Let them miss one. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? But that person is not obligated to do that, none of that shit anyway. So, yeah, I don't know who came up with that narrative that when you engage with a woman in a relationship, you automatically assume a role with her kids. I can't agree with that. If the kids build that kind of relationship with you, then I think that's more of a better way to say it. Because just because you step up, it don't mean that kid is going to accept you in that role.
That's interesting. I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, when you're in a situation, you're in a single parent household, some people will feel obligated to react, respond, react, and engage with a child, and some people feel like, I'm here for your mom. But more so, it's definitely interesting. Like I said, like as we get into the subject a little bit deeper, but everybody simps. I gotta ask, where is this mentality coming from? Where people just be like, no, you shouldn't spend no type of money on women. Like, do you feel like that's always been around, or is it more so within these last couple of years the narrative is being pushed hard as shit?
Honestly, man, in my opinion, it comes from some older men and young black males' lives. Even though they mean well, they still toxic. So you got that factor.
All right.
But then when you turn on the music, going all the way back to NWA being the first people on gangster rap. Ice Cube got a song on Straight Outta Compton called I Ain't the One.
Right.
And in the song, he's saying he ain't the one to get her hair and nails done. He ain't spending nothing on the bitch. And I'm quoting what he's saying. I'm not saying bitch, but that's the concept behind the song.
All right.
So this goes back to the late 80s.
Okay.
So if this is the pace that gangster rap is setting, I ain't tricking on a bitch, I ain't the one, fuck a bitch, whatever. You got the toxic men that's around the young black male, and now you got the music saying these kind of things. So eventually, this becomes the norm. You feel me? And so much that if the guy that's semi-being, you know, a lover boy, quote unquote, and listening to R&B music and shit like that, you're like, nah, that nigga weak. You know what I'm saying? Now he's weak. You know what I'm saying?
But you still love his music, though.
Right.
You still love his music, though.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always say, man, with kids, it's important to give them balance and something as simple as music. If you're gonna play, especially around boys, if you're gonna play the gangster rap, play the old school R&B, what some people say are the simp songs. Let them hear that. You know what I'm saying? Because they still need a balance. You feel me? Not every woman or man has the same value, so they automatically don't deserve the same attention.
All right.
Some men can meet a good woman, but treat her like shit because they have it pre-wired in their brain.
Program.
That I'm automatically not doing none of this shit.
Yeah.
And you'll pass up on good opportunities. So, I would simply say, man, it goes back to having toxic men in their life that probably even mean well. Probably they could never succeed with women. And they got their heart broke or whatever the case. They went through some bad experiences. So now they're going to help you by giving you the game, quote unquote.
All
You know what I'm saying? So that happens.
Right. I'm gonna get some game for a couple people I listen to. You got Gunna said in one of his
Red pillars, man.
yeah, man, look. Hey, look, you know, it's red around here all day.
Red
It
pillars?
ain't red around here,
Right.
but we gotta be honest at the same time, right? I remember Gunna said before, he said, look, if you really fuck with a chick and she actually is added some type of value to you, you shouldn't be scared to spend some type of money on her. And I'm like, yeah, I believe that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Larry June, my boy Larry June, hey, look, sometimes you gotta upgrade the bitch. You know what I'm saying? You can't let, you know what I'm saying? It's power in, like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I don't get. People don't understand it's power in spending money on people, and it's power in not spending money on people. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I would look at it like this. Depending on that woman's mentality, what she has earned from you, or what you actually earned from her, you'll know if there'll be appreciation if you're spending money on them, right? It's a different mindset when it's already expected, right? But person's already living a certain type of lifestyle, quote unquote. Sometimes you just gotta measure up to what they're doing or they'll drop you, you know what I'm saying? That's why they always say, coming up, if you have game, you can always fuck a chick with money. But down the line, if she's really level-headed in the mind, you'll still get dropped if nothing. Your life is upgrading. You know what I'm saying?
But keying on that, you can, if you got game, you can quote unquote fuck a chick with money. That's fine.
Yeah.
And listening to a Kevin Samuels show, it was a guy who called. He was in a relationship with a chick that had more than him.
Right.
More on the education level and more money.
You talking about when he's he was dating a doctor? He was an Uber driver.
I'm trying to tell the story.
Yeah, hey, look, I got it.
So dude called it. He like, man, I got a problem with women and women this and women this. So Kevin, he was like, hey, so let me ask you a couple of questions. So he asked the guy, what did the woman do first? So she got a degree, you know, she a doctor. Okay. So he, you know, he listened to him. So he asked eventually, what do you do for a living? He say, oh, I'm an Uber driver. He was like,
and I'm a musician.
And a musician. He said, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Are you trolling me?
Are you trolling me?
But it's true, you feel me? Like,
the main
game can only get you so far.
Bro, and the main thing he said, not to cut you off, was like, he said, women aren't your enemy, your pockets are your enemy.
Your pockets, right.
Your pockets are your enemy.
He went on to tell him that's the reason why she's so combative, is because outside of the bedroom, you have no value.
You have no value.
Question.
Hey, that's the thing. Like, what they say, some of y'all niggas can only dominate in the bedroom, nothing else. I swear to God, like when he said that, like my soul got hit. I used to just tell niggas like, bro, y'all not no dominant men. Y'all think that y'all be fucking, y'all really somebody. That doesn't mean shit. Like, what have you produced outside of that bedroom? Well, you know what I'm saying? Are you, look, put it like this: Are you the one always driving another woman's car, or is she driving your car? Like what? That's why one of the main things I love that he said, because I understood it at the age of 24 even more, was when he said women respect resources. Some of you niggas is not resourceful at all. Y'all just think y'all resourceful for what y'all do in the little time, but not in the long run. Right? That's why they say wealth is measured in time. Some of y'all think y'all wealthy, y'all just got money. That's not how it plays out, baby.
Right. And going back to the bill, you know, you have some men like Dame Dash, where he did a whole interview saying, I really don't even care to be around men because men have testosterone. Testosterone puts you in a competitive state to where every man got to be in the top spot. So he was like, I don't trust men. I'd rather be around women. Why? Because the woman, any man knows that's on a particular level, you know that the woman is powerful within that manifestation process. You become who you are, how strong you are, how smart you are, based on the feminine energy that you have within your life that you're using properly.
Correct.
You feel me? So that's pretty much what he was saying. Like, I'd rather hang around women. And that's respected by some. And then some will be like, well, let's say if a guy get into a relationship and he give his woman a lot of time, some negative men will frown on that and call you a simp because you...
Yeah, say it again, bro. Say it again.
Men will frown on you because you're giving your woman the adequate time and attention that she needs in order for you to uphold your relationship. So now, once again, you weak, you a bitch, you ain't never home, you can't have...
Hey, shit, you got your own life.
Yeah, you got your own life.
You need a pussy slip. You pussy whip. You can't come outside without her permission. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, I'm so glad we on this subject now, bro.
Yeah, but guess what? Most of those men are the married ones.
Are the married ones, like, you know what I'm saying?
And the ones that, you know what I'm saying, just...
Yo.
People want their woman to submit and compromise. We say fit, feminine, and cooperative.
Fit, feminine,
but
friendly.
we forget that you still have to be cooperative as well. It's compromise on both sides.
Yeah, you gotta be able to compromise on both sides. Like and it's crazy because men that be trying to clown other men for having women at the heart, it's confusing as shit. I like, isn't that not the end goal? Like, are you mean? Is that not the end?
I thought that's what you wanted.
You know what I'm saying? Is that not the end goal? That make sure you have somebody at home when you go home to, or you just gonna be, you know, in the streets till 60, 70, 80 years old, you know, paying for the nookie? I don't know what you're gonna do, but it's weird. Like, for instance, man, I want my best friend. Shout out to you, McClooney, my white boy. We went out a couple weeks ago.
Cameraman.
We went out a couple weeks ago, right? Went to a seafood place. Like, we have this mentality of like, hey, I'll cover tab, you cover the tab. It's just basically a little thing that we do, like making sure, like, look, we can cover each other, not just out of financially. It's just been something there. That's why when, you know, sometimes women go out, people are like, yeah, women would pay for women. I was like, yeah, they're showing they can cover each other and have each other's back in certain situations. Now, when we did that, right, he got like 2 hours or 3 hours. He was actually free for the evening. His wife said, yeah, go ahead, go out. Y'all haven't been out in a while. And we eating at a restaurant over there by like AMC 30, a nice little seafood spot. And it's getting late. It's like almost like 10. It's about to hit like 11 o'clock. And I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, oh man, I gotta get you home. He's like, hey man, why you trying to get me home, man? We ain't been out like that. I said, because the representation of what's going on with the relationship you have with me, I want to make sure your wife understands I respect y'all's relationship. That's why I'd rather have you go home before midnight. But he was like, I ain't look at it like that. I was like, I respect relationships. You're in a marriage. That's the end goal of, well, most men want, I'll say most men, I don't know what men said they don't want to get married, or at least have somebody to go home to. but I'm trying to respect the time that he was able to get from his wife while she's taking care of the kids, so he can have a little fun and adventure and go back at a reasonable hour. That was my whole mind frame when we went out. But see, in another half, if that would have been like, let's say like me and like other people, oh man, you gotta go back home, bro. You gotta get to the kids, man. Like, and shit like that is just stupid to me. Like, I respect time and relationships more than anything. I make sure not to overstep my boundaries and stuff. And if it comes down to it, I gotta make sure, my boy gets home safe. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no disgruntles or any awkward moments when he gets in the house if he came in late. Like, I don't know that whole relationship inside and out, but like I said, it's just a respect level I have for a man who's married. So, that's all I gotta say.
Nothing more to add on that part. I would just simply say, remember, steel sharpens steel. I think the reason why I think even as men, we allow it, like, if I'm cool with a guy and I know he's not responsible, like, with his kids, really can't fuck with you on certain levels. You feel me? Like,
say that again, man. Say that again.
If I'm rocking with a, a homie, and I know for a fact he's not responsible with his kids, I can't really fuck with you on certain levels. Nonetheless, probably fuck with you at all. But, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a conversation about it though. Right. Like, I'm gonna let you know, hey, I see that you're not really putting that time and energy, you know what I'm saying, where it's supposed to go as far as your kids, so I'm gonna hold you accountable. If I see a dude in a relationship, you know what I'm saying, you have some male friends that's like, hey fam, I know you married, and like Juice was saying, look, you need to slow down on what you're doing if you out here acting like me. I'm single and you're acting like me and you married. Right. So I think a lot of these men can have these mentalities because they don't have other men around them holding them accountable for their actions.
They don't have men checking their ass, bro.
Right. And you gotta have a circle of men around you like that if you want to be successful. You have to be able to accept that criticism when it comes from a masculine place that you have respect for. So a lot of men will hooray a guy as long as he's down in women, but the minute he starts talking about where we fell as men, then all of a sudden, hey, he's simping now. Right. Because he's telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And another point, no, you got it from there. I'll bring it up later.
You bring it up later?
I'll bring it up later.
I mean, chill, man. I just feel like, hey, this is a nice
I'll go ahead and do it. I'll go ahead and do it.
Man, go ahead and do it, man.
You got some irresponsible men that feel as though even if they provide commerce to their child's mother without sexual engagements being exchanged, then they feel weak. Or they feel like they something.
Oh shit!
You don't need.
Yo, son, did you really do that? Did you really do that? Yo, man.
It's like listen to a T.I. album.
Man, oh man. Hey, but as interesting as you just said that, there's also women like that. Like, it's like
if he gonna see his kid,
he need to drop that dick off. Yo, son, but that's one of the craziest things about relationships, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to people who actually have kids or have some type of ties to them, some people still want that sexual action, no matter what. Are you in a relationship? I don't care. You married? I don't care. The kids need about $200, huh? Yeah, shit.
What you doing tonight?
Yeah. What you? I need some back to spend.
Taking care of your kids.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. And it's crazy because there's relationships like that, right? Where, let's just say, let me give you a scenario, right? You had situations like that where a child will be, situations like that where a child will actually, like, let's say, come downstairs and actually see mom and dad talking. And as you thinking, they're like, oh, they might get back together. Like, no, they're just there to.
They're being mature.
They're being mature. They're just there to do what they want to do. But it will play out down the line. Like, yo, they'll bring it up eventually. Like, hey, I see mom and dad come over sometimes, and y'all talking, and they don't know if their child is actually up or just observing. But he might be thinking they're preparing things, and really they're just doing the deed. Wow. Nobody thinks about that versus where, all right, if we're gonna do this and do this, well, it gotta be outside this house, it gotta be down the street or something like that. But y'all still let that man or that woman come over, and your child and your kids are feeling like y'all getting back together when it's really just a transactional situation going on.
Right, and in that case,
man, I'm too good on this, man. We're gonna go famous one day, bro.
We're gonna get famous
one day.
Yeah, and now on that note, explain it to the kids. You feel me? Like,
right.
You can go into that and just explain that we're showing you responsibility and maturity, and we're showing you not just that, you get your first sex education relationship wise from how you see your parents engage with each other, and how you see them engage in their relationships. You know what I'm saying? One time my daughter told me, she said, I realized, you always pay. You know what I'm saying? You pay for everybody. And okay, so I had to explain, hey, you know what I'm saying, the pros and the cons and the positives and the negatives.
Okay.
But the image is out there. You know what I'm saying? The education is there.
Right.
If your daughter see, you know what I'm saying, you opening the door for a female, not because you fucking her, not because you with her. It could be a random woman. She sees that, okay, men are supposed to treat women like this. You know what I'm saying? But if she see you saying, hey, I ain't never spending money on a bitch this, a bitch that. So what is that teaching her?
That's teaching her that men ain't shit, nigga.
Not just that, men ain't shit, but you also teaching her that women ain't shit.
Exactly.
Because she not gonna value herself in a high standard if her father don't value women in a high standard, and that's what she sees.
Right.
And now, devil's advocate, a lot of women do the same thing. They sons and daughters don't see them placing value on themselves, so they can devalue women as well.
Correct.
So a lot of these dudes become simps because of, first off, what did their parents do?
Right.
If a dude is attacking simping so much, I first gotta ask, did he have a father? Was he active? You know what I'm saying? Was he responsible? Okay, he didn't have a father. Let's get that off the table. He ain't had no uncles, no cousins, somebody on TV. You know what I'm saying? People in older generations say Bill Cosby was their father because he was the first black male father on TV that had the positive image.
Talk to him.
That's why they call him, they revere him in that aspect.
Uh-huh.
So you having a father can be an effect, but don't get it twisted. It's no excuse for you to use as a crutch for the rest of your life.
Not at all.
Because you still have other men accessible to you, whether it's on TV, now you got YouTube. You have ways to cut your bullshit.
Correct.
I'm done on that.
Yeah, and then this is one of the most important things when it comes to men. You need to be around every type of man, right? Don't just think all the knowledge is gonna come from your family. Fuck no. You need to be around men. Be around men who dress in suits. Be around men who dress casual. Like, I'm talking about the apparel for a reason, because you might actually see a different correlation in each one, or they might all act the same regardless of appearance. And that's what people don't understand, right? The man in the suit might be as nice as the man who dresses in joggers every day. The man in joggers might have as much money as the man who has a suit. It's just that we have different, you know what I'm saying, we feel like the appearance of our clothing reflects how we might treat individuals at the same time, right? That's why they'd be like, hey, treat the janitor how you would treat the CEO at the same time. That's a mentality behind it. So you got to be around different men to get a good grasp on the idea of what it's like to become a man. If she ain't worth shit, like some men be like, if she ain't worth shit, don't deal with her. And then another man be like, if she ain't worth shit, show her how to value herself or bring value to herself. And if you bring value to yourself, then the people are like, oh man, you might be simping because it takes time to upgrade a woman. But don't necessarily look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to, like I said, see more into an individual, or just don't deal with it at all. That's why when it comes to this notion of simping, I be laughing because, like I said, some people to me, it's either they're just broke or they just have a piss poor mind. And having a piss poor mind on how you look at women is terrible. I remember doing some of the smallest things for women and getting a huge momentum lifted in my life, right? So, for instance, I remember my homegirl was like low on gas. We have they said we have a non-sexual, let me go, it's a non-sexual relationship, so and I came there, put some gas in the car, I chunked the deuce. I was trying to get to it was some type of, I forgot, it was like a meeting or something. And coincidentally, she just happened to be there, was like, hey, he sits over here with us. I'm sitting at the table with people who are actually somebody versus just like having the tickets to be there, like kind of like presents and shit. So it's the smallest things that you contribute. Now, what if I would have been like the dude, like, nah, baby, that's on you. I know we friends, but I ain't doing that. It's the smallest things, contributions you do for women that can take you a long way. Like, don't ever think women don't have as much power as men. Even if they're not, put it like this, even if they're not in a position to run the business, they're in a position to actually take control of the business. That's why a lot of them are in what? HR. They control who gets hired and who doesn't get hired.
Man, and just adding on that real quick, I love you brought up that point because some guys feel as though, hey, if I'm your friend, I'm not paying for nothing. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
And then you have some men that understand, friend or not, sexual exchange or not, I'm still a man.
Right.
You can't jump in and out this skin when you want to, and then demand everybody respect you as a man. You know what I'm saying? When great men die, the room is full of people that respect them for being a man. You know what I'm saying? That man stood up for me. That man, he did this, he did that.
Uh-huh.
People will respect you for being simply what you're supposed to be. You're born a man. You're born you're born a male. Okay? Not all y'all become here. You know what I'm saying? And another thing I want to key in on, man. Have you noticed that, like, when dudes tell their stories of how they got to a chick, like, sexually, it's never really nobody bragging on, I took her on a date, I bought her flowers, and then I gave her a massage and put the rose petals down. Guys don't brag like that. Guys brag on, like, the least shit they did. I fucked on the first night.
Fucked on the first
You know what I'm
night. You know, I told her, like, look here, look, shorty, like, I get you, like, a little, I mean, I'm about to bitch a drink.
Yeah.
It's
Not even cheap. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I ain't say that much.
You gotta to learn a lot about even your homie, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pay attention to what he brag about.
Uh-huh.
So if he brag about always getting the poom poom for cheap, you can kind of tell the mentality.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? If he brags and he got a story where he put in a little work, he did whatever. You're like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Remember, if 9 times out of 10, people don't really turn switches on and off with responsibility and accountability. So, if he engaged his own personal life like that with women, 9 times out of 10, he gonna have responsibility and accountability even in his friendships.
Correct.
It ain't no on and offs in this, man.
Yeah, I like that, man. Like, it's a little cooking. I didn't get my Chef Boyardee hat, man. But yeah, that was beautiful right there, because that's a lot, right? That's why when we see some of our homeboys that come on to be on vacation, they having the nice pictures and they're on a boat, jet ski, and parasailing with a woman. Like, man, look at all that shit that nigga didn't do.
Clown.
They be trying to clown their homeboy for giving a woman a good time versus them just always keeping a woman in the same city. Like, yo, that's why
some
like
men
some
brag like that.
Well, like, yeah, some people brag like that. Like, everybody has a different thing, but shout out to the brothers that go above and beyond to show a woman a good time.
Yeah, you ain't always.
Yeah, you ain't always a simp. Just 90% of the time,
Don't let her win no arguments, bro. Just step up, stand your ground, 10 toes.
Hey, that's what I
Fight it to the
said.
death.
I don't forget what Uncle Juice said, man. You gotta
Uncle
have
Juice.
standards,
Mhm.
boundaries, and requirements.
Mhm.
You gotta maintain them on all levels, no matter if you're doing it for a woman, right? I don't know. In fact, let's go ahead and tell a story, man. You got a story you want to tell where you went above and beyond for a woman just one time?
Oh, shit, I got so many, man. I'll just sum it up to where, like, I wouldn't cap it on this conversation.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's plenty of times personally where I've done stuff in relationships and
Okay.
other guys applauded it, but most of those guys were really twice my age. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
And
did I applaud it or no?
Yeah, you went on. I was gonna throw you in that.
Oh, okay, I was just trying to make sure.
That's why I said most. You know what I'm saying? Most of them twice my age, and sad to say, they weren't family. You know what I'm saying? I haven't had too many people, family wise, that actual blood that would actually be like, hey, you're doing right by doing this. You know what I'm saying? As far as being so quote unquote not a simp. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like we brought up the family aspect. I connected with that. It's not too much to add on that. Like I say, it's no. I will do what's required as far as responsibility,
Right.
accountability to the best of my ability.
Uh-huh.
I mix them abilities in there. Like you said, man, I'm done, man.
All right. So look, I'll go ahead and tell y'all about one time we were above and beyond, because like I said, brothers don't be talking about this too much. I had planned a trip to Dallas one time. Me and another young lady at the time I was dating.
Uh-huh.
And had the hotel already paid for. Told her like, hey, look,
Okay, all right.
here's some money. Go to the mall, pick out something that you want to wear for the evening. I made sure to do the same.
You can have whatever.
You know what I'm saying? I put it in the car. She was like, wherever you going? I was like, don't worry about it. Just chill. You know what I'm saying? Control the situation, not revealing too much. When we had like a helicopter ride that came with a meal.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Went around the whole Dallas area and shit.
Yeah,
it's
like 50 Shades of Grey. Huh?
like shit. I mean, look that let that helicopter continue. Let the hell got the mentality, man. But it's just small stuff like that. Like we got to be able to tell the man it's nothing bad. You know, I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? I got that deal. Look, I got that deal hooked up on Groupon, baby. So you know what I'm saying? It's stuff you can make an amazing time for somebody by not even paying the most money out of it, just looking for the good deals.
And that's why they say it's the energy behind it. It's not
It's the
always
energy.
the price.
Right. It's how you do it.
And I say one thing you got to appreciate in those situations is being able to appreciate the energy that certain experiences give people.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Honor the time if you was somebody's first at taking them to a place or providing an experience, because that person is going to remember that shit.
Right.
That's going to change them. Even if you don't stay with them necessarily, it's still going to change that person's perspective on life and what's out there in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, because look, let's just say hypothetically we go to, we go to State 48. She might be like, I've been to State 48, but I ain't never went like this. So it's a whole different experience of what you can bring out, even to the same things they might be. They have past experiences. You can actually make it more pleasurable. So I mean, that's all I feel like I got on the subject, man. If you got anything else, let me know.
Nah, that's it, man. Just make sure y'all tap into the YouTube channel, Talking That Talk Official Podcast. We appreciate everybody that tuned into the live on Instagram. We out.
All right, peace, y'all. All right, recap going after this.